Wait, hold on.
Who's that?
Yo,
Oh, uh,
Nope.
Chulo hoodie.
Shit, group.
oh,
Hold
hold
on,
on.
I gotta do this.
Down real quick.
I get for using my phone.
Question, y'all. How far have we come since Martin Luther King's
All right,
untimely
there we go. I'm done.
How far have we come since what? Is
MLK's untimely death?
Not that far.
that a trick question?
I'm just no. Listen, I'm just this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? We make conversation. It's not a
Yeah,
trick.
not far at all.
It's just a straight up question.
We're still
Have we moved the needle at all? Has it been very marginal? Like,
I think it's gotten worse. We went from hoses and dogs in the street to just straight bullets.
True.
bars. That's a bar.
So I don't feel like anything changed. It's just same shit, just with wearing a different mask nowadays. That's all that's changed. Slavery's still around. Shit's still fucked up for us. It just looked different, a little different.
I should agree on that.
Yeah, that's a fact. Because when you think about it, they used to, even in school days they had have like certain privileges and shit. Same thing as now. Us entertainers, some of us, a little, but the majority of us still in the same predicament, behind the eight ball, being marginalized. It's simple housing, redlining, hard no, just everything treated differently across the board, and it's unfortunate. How much blame do our parents get? Any?
I mean, they're in the same struggle too, so we can't. How can we blame them?
No,
Right.
not like your mom or your dad or any your aunts and uncles directly, but just like the generation before us. Do they get blamed?
We're not that far removed from that era. Like, I mean, they like to put up pictures of the civil rights movement in black and white to make it seem so long ago, but all of those pictures exist in color.
True.
Oh, history repeats itself.
All right.
Right.
Um, is it true that MLK was he didn't really die from the bullet wound, but he died.
But he died in the hospital with someone himself to
Yeah,
bed with a pillow.
yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's true as we know. I mean,
We do never know.
they wanted to make sure he was done. It was a hitman move right there. That's what that was. You gotta make sure your job complete. You still breathing, your job ain't done.
Agree with that one.
It's a shame. Um, what else is new? What else is good out here before we get into these topics?
Um, how do y'all feel about all these people, the rioters, the protesters, whatever you want to call them, getting arrested? You feel bad for them? They on a no-fly list.
It's all for show. The one dude with his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk has already been given house arrest. It's a joke.
It's a joke. Yeah, it's a slap on the wrist.
It's
If it
a
was us, we would have been
show.
dead by the hundreds before we touched the fourth step, maybe the second step. I'm just saying.
You already know. Like just like Cypher did last week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you already know what will happen. So
House arrest for a federal crime?
Bruh.
Mhm.
I saw a meme the other day that spoke about capital punishment. It was a woman who said that she had been going to visit death row inmates for almost 40 years, and she's never met a death row inmate that had the means or had the capital. So it's almost to say that capital punishment is punishment for those who don't have the capital. I was like, oh,
You coming with the bars tonight? Okay, I
All right.
gotcha.
see you.
Like it's a moment.
You do know they said on the 20th they're doing something else. Well, not them, but a different group. Oh,
Yeah, they're talking about all like all 50 of the capitals.
they gonna do is move out the way and let their cousins do their thing.
So what?
I said, all they gonna do is move out the way and let their cousins do their thing. The police in these capitals.
Right.
I mean, we do know that it's come out that a lot of the people that were out there on the 6th were the actual police. It's the same thing as like Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus not being in the same room.
Felt that. Yeah, they said there was a lot of active and retired cops and firefighters in there.
Bringing their badges. They were showing their badges.
They show off. This is what they could do. This is to
basically
show
said,
you
let us
they could do whatever they
know who
want.
we are.
Because they don't care, because they in their mind they can get away with it. And the sad part is that they do. So they're gonna keep doing what the fuck they want to do, because there's nobody that can stop them. Even if they do get stopped. You know what I mean? They're not gonna face the same crime as a black person would. I think I said this before. There was these 2 college students and they end up having the same crime and shit. And the white student had 6 months of jail. The black student had 3 to 5 years.
My only thing with those videos and memes, is it the same state, same judge?
yeah.
That could vary. But even if it was the same judge, same week, probably same day, probably still would have been some type of different outcome, which is unfortunate.
A white man with a whole assault rifle is not looked at as the same threat of just someone that looks like you and I chilling.
First of all, whatever happened to those guys who stormed the government building like 2-3 years ago? I ain't hear about nobody getting in trouble. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, it was some guys, I think it was in Denver or something. They stormed a government building with guns and shit. And
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
why y'all know what I'm talking about? Because it slipped your mind.
Right.
Because anybody got in trouble, or we didn't hear of anybody getting in trouble. No National Guard, no Army came to take back the building. It was just probably, let's talk about this. What do you want? All right, we'll give you what you want. No cameras in here. I'm sorry to disturb you, and white power.
Clayton Bigsby.
Right.
At its finest.
Yo, we see you getting your workout on.
My favorite person in the group.
We see.
Hi. I'm trying to breathe and listen and multitask.
All right. Working out on the
What's up,
podcast.
guys? Happy New Year.
Oh yeah.
Happy New Year.
I'm walking for those who can't walk. You know what I mean?
Back. Yo, Ebony Love from the chat says hello. Say hello to Ebony. She's
Hold on.
she's here every.
Hey, girl.
That many be holding it down. The homie.
Be holding it down. Every week faithfully. Um, what we talking about? Yeah, storming the Capitol, storming government buildings with no repercussions, no nothing. That's why y'all all forgot. Y'all was like, "Don't Capitol? What's that?" It's just sad. Even when I first started noticing it, I think it was it Cleveland where the cops was in peaceful protest. I think for Mike Brown throwing rocks and bottles from the crowd, and a brave white guy was like, "You don't live around here." Took his mask off and was like, "He don't live around here. You have to arrest him." And when the three cops was arresting the three men, they all had the same boots on. So it showed that the three rioters that were in the peaceful protest throwing stones and bottles, there were cops that were put in the crowd. So then I think 2 days later, the police chief had to come out and say, yeah, they were like doing some type of training. I don't
Yeah, okay. Cover up.
Right.
The cover up.
know. Like the
There you
picture.
go right there.
They were training on how to incite riots.
Right.
And the sad thing is black people don't have no power, but we just let all of it slide. One thing
If we let it slide, what exactly do you mean by that?
I was going to elaborate. One thing I will say that I admire about white people, their ruthlessness. And what I mean by that, um, if there's a rapist in our community and he just died hiding in the church, nobody's gonna go get him. We're gonna wait for the cops to come, and we're gonna patiently wait outside. White people might burn down that church. They probably start throwing Molotov cocktails in the church and start burning that shit down to smoke him out. We just and a double-edged sword to that. Just white people, black people, even though they tell us we're thugs, we have such good hearts at the core of us. So we're just not savages like that. But that savage Neanderthal side that they possess, sometimes it works.
Man, it works because they can get away with it. Black people not getting away with that same thing, bro. Like put black people in those same scenarios. It's not gonna work out for us. You know that. We'd be shot. We'd be arrested. We'd be dead. These niggas get away with the shit. That's the difference.
Yeah.
The message is
That's
clear.
the difference.
It's not our country. This is there was no intention on us being free. That wasn't in the design of how this went. They went to Africa, they stole themselves some niggas and said that this is who is going to serve us. We're gonna leave Europe and we're gonna come over here and we're gonna create our own situation to where we have servants. There was never a point in time where they were ever thinking, okay, we're going to keep them for a little while and then slowly but surely trickle them into the economy. That was never a part of the plan.
And it's back. Like, yo, I gotta go. Send us back. Like, don't fucking keep us here. I don't know.
You know, honestly, I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. What would happen if every black and brown person in America just collectively got up and left on the same day? Could you imagine? Like, I would love to see that happen.
It'd be amazing if it wouldn't happen.
I would love to see it. Like, because then you would have no choice but to turn on each other.
Well,
who's gonna pick your produce? You done ran all the Mexicans away. Like, what are we doing here?
the economy would collapse because we're the ones that spend all the money. So, like, and I'm talking about everybody's economy. The Chinese economy that's here, the Arab community that's here, the whites. Everybody would just all of a sudden it would be quiet for a lot of people's pockets.
But there is no safe space in America for Black people to separate themselves and create their we've already tried it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tulsa.
I mean,
Black Wall Street was a thing, and you see what happened to that. So on what scale could we effectively separate ourselves and have our own ecosystem to truly show what our dollar and what our effort means to every economy.
Well, as Cypher reiterates from week to week, we got to keep doing this. We got to keep building Oklahoma and the Tulsa, Oklahomas, and the Seneca villages and stuff like that. The difference is we got to have an army. We can't just you know, circulate our money and this and that. We got to be able to protect our assets. So, you know, if we're able to do this again, we have to start cultivating a small militia, you know, kind of like that not fucking around crew.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
them, the Not Fucking Around Coalition.
No, listen, if I had the money and I was building a community, I would just rent them out. I'd be like, how much? All right, send me 20. Just send me 20. Like that's what you got to do. You got to govern your own neighborhoods, and you know, the cops come second. If you can't handle it, then you call the police. But if you're gonna, because Freedom, Georgia, they now have 600 acres. They started off with 95. Now they have 600 acres. Cause I follow them on Instagram. So if they start building their community, I might leave. Fuck it. Might. I'm not gonna guarantee I'm gonna leave, but I might. Let's get this shit started.